The Formula Ford is the classic single-seater racing car experience. More future world champions have started in Formula Ford than any other type of racing car. But there's one behind me with a number plate on it. Sometime last year, some people at Ford with a great sense of humour decided to put their new, very interesting turbocharged 1 litre 3-cylinder engine into a Formula Ford and then bolt a bloke called Nick Tandy into it and come to the Nürburgring. Somehow, he managed to do a 722 around the ring in that thing. In road-going spec, the motor is pushing out around 170 horsepower, down from the 205 Nick Tandy used to set his silly lap. The engine bay is more crowded than an Indian train, and underneath all that plumbing is a 3-cylinder motor displacing just 1 litre that's normally found in a Fiesta. The power boost comes by running a pair of new ECUs and a larger turbocharger taken from the 1.6 litre EcoBoost motor. The internals are completely standard. At a steady 75 miles an hour, Ford claims it will return 57 miles per gallon, but no one actually cares about that. They want to know how fast it is. Well, Ford claims a 158 mile an hour top speed in 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds, which is fair enough when you consider it weighs around 500 kilograms. This car is completely road legal. It has indicators, fog lights, even an electric handbrake. And it also has a laminated letter from the Ford Motor Company explaining as much wedged down inside the chassis, just in case you get stopped by the Polizei. So, before we hit the track, we might as well try it on the road. Now, I never thought I'd say that about a Formula Ford. One of the most overused phrases in motoring journalism is, "It's a racing car for the road." More often than not, it isn't a racing car for the road, it's a road car that's been ruined to make it feel like a racing car, or rather, an interpretation of what someone thinks a racing car should feel like. But this Formula Ford is genuinely a racing car on the public highway. And that makes it extremely exciting, because to have a car that responds like a racing car on the street is something that most people never get to experience. It's so immediate, right. It's also one of the noisiest cars I've ever driven. As the boost rises, you can't hear yourself think. Good God! Everything is so compact and you are so connected to the vehicle. That's what I think makes it a step beyond an Atom or a Caterham. I mean, really, a Caterham after this does feel like an S-Class Mercedes. It's just tiny. You left foot brake because there is no room to do anything else. I have to say, this new sequential gear shifters that the Formula Fords get with an automatic blip on the downshift is a joy. I think anyone that buys one of these, should Ford build any, might struggle to match Mr. Tandy's 722 around the ring. But as a way of going out on a Sunday morning and driving in a manner that will make you feel more alive than any other car, I'm not sure it can be beaten. It's an experience that you can't replicate. It is a proper racing car, perhaps the most proper racing car of all, and it has a number plate. Ford, I implore you to build some of these and sell them. As for the engine, well, I've got 170 horsepower today. Quite a long way down from the 200 they can squeeze from it. I can't imagine what it's like with 200. Turbo noise? It's nuts. I've not driven a Porsche 935, I have driven a 962, and this is the closest in sound. Heavily turbocharged, and obviously half 6 cylinders, it sounds about the same. I get to do some really silly things in this job. This is right up there. bonkers. Absolutely bonkers! Dear God. This is driving. When someone invented driving, this is what they meant. That is insane. Why drive with a helmet on? Drive with a helmet off with some shades on, and if you do 30 miles an hour, it feels like you're doing about 700 miles an hour.
This is quite a forbidding place in a single-seater. The ring punishes cars with hard suspension and minimal wheel travel. Cars, yes, like a Formula Ford. But if Mr. Tandy can do it, it must be possible, right? Well, what I didn't know was that an earlier installation lap had actually flipped the front roll bar inside out, so we effectively had zero front suspension. You might spot I'm driving rather nervously.
So, the Formula Ford EcoBoost. There is surely no better way of using 1 litre of displacement running fast down towards the Hudson back. Nick Tandy, I salute you, you lunatic. This thing bumping around all over the place. Let's take 4th into the Hasselback. I've never driven a car that brakes the way this one does around here. It's taken me a long time to get used to it. To stay off the curbs, lots of grip. And let's keep pushing towards the flats. Whoa, bumpy, bumpy. A little lift there, gets very light at the back end, tip it in. One bit of steering off all the way around. Oh, that was quite brisk. Now down towards Nürburgring. 6th gear. Speedo's reading 130, 140. Little lift before there. Me, it jumped, I didn't mean it to do that. Through here, Nürburgring. No aero in a Formula Ford, remember? Stick it on its nose. I'm not using anything like the braking performance. Whoa! Lifts the wheel. Little lift there. I'm not going flat through there. I'm sure Mr. Tandy did. Then he's a mentalist. Through here. Quite difficult to get the throttle exactly where you want it because it is quite boosty. Short shift there. Then she goes. The torque is lovely and the sound is really quite 911. It is half a 911 after all. Steering is really heavy and direct. Oh yes, oh yes, it's so agile, and I would need to build up to this, because it doesn't feel like anything else I've driven around here, but you tip it in and it's got loads of grip. What it hasn't got on these slicks for me is a huge amount of feel. I don't know quite where all the grip is. in this little car. Traction is good, but I have to say, I'm not being a tail-out warrior today. That's not what it's about. I think I myself if I did. Right, that feels fast. You have to be careful with the brakes around here because you get a bit lulled into a sense of security because of course it'll stop on the smooth stuff when there's a bump. Picks your wheel up the hill, flat out then. 120, things slow down a bit, having a little lift through that king because I'm a bit of a bender. There we go. 6.2, that's 6. Grab 5th there. I'm two-pedalling it. There's no room in the footwell really to right foot brake. There's a lovely sequential gearbox here. Little lift there. It's probably flat for the heroes, not for me. Oh, it's a pretty special view down here, I tell you. A 1 litre engine doing all this. Get your head around that. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Won't bother with the carousel. No one to bother with the carousel, it's rubbish. Bit of understeer through there, not much, but noticeable. Take 3rd here. It's getting a bit unsettled by the bumps and we're in road spec. Jesus, the steering is heavy. I think I could do a couple of laps in this thing. I've never turned into there at 99 before, I don't think. Wow. Can't use the curb, I don't think, but doesn't matter, we're carrying so much speed. Concentrate through here a bit. That's quick. Bit of a jump. Now through these faster bits, the back axle feels a bit more loose. Oof. Oof. Oh, that's quite quick. Should that be 3rd? It's got so much torque, it just drags you out. Again, we'll go around the outside of this one. What a privilege. Empty Nürburgring on a sunny and summer's day. Look at the turning speed here. Flick it right. Bang! Okay. 5th, 128, 136, 140, that's quite quick. Something will leave their limits. We'll be bumped around a bit on the surface here. 146, 46, bumps there. As fast as I want to go in a Formula Ford around the ring, thanks. What an experience. Proves that small capacity engines can be fantastic. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
Forget for a moment that Ford might yet build a few of these and flog them. Think about it as a marketing exercise. Would you, as a car enthusiast, rather Ford spend a load more money on crap telly adverts or give Nick Tandy a bonkers car to go and bait Lambos at the ring? Quite. There's nothing quite like it on the road, and it's a pure racing car on the track. Just imagine if it had a Ford warranty.
What's it like in there?
Very noisy